What does the heart call for? For them there is a patience that's being called for. Like for quite some time I've been feeling drawn to return to India, just to say thank you for all that happened before I was aware of all the gifts that happened there. And somehow it linked to me, and I can even feel the gratitude squeezing me. It's linked to the actual ground, and it's just how it shows up for me. And I feel to invite, if people have, if it comes to heart, people who you'd like to include in support of them in some sort of healing. We won't know how it shows up, but we can include them in heart here, consciously and by voice, and it can support them to more happiness in their own set of details happening. If there's somebody who comes to heart that you'd like to include, there's someone, just to say their name. So, just like this, we can share this vibration by simply including them in heart. And then adding our voice to it brings another layer, right? Because there's whatever's happening inside, and then we say it out loud. It's heard not only by us, by awareness. That's the beauty of being able to share ourselves. So it becomes even more tangible and direct. So we're here for now, for letting perhaps these sounds, if it feels appropriate to you, to allow these sounds to be in support of your own set of details of living, in an even more enjoyable way. Does that sound like something that you could say yes to? Right? It's only just saying yes. It's not about thinking about how would life be more enjoyable or anything like that. It's just a yes right now. And then with your yes inside, the sounds will be with you in support of that. Okay. And so once again, there'll be a few sounds, and then we'll sit in some silence. Is it here? Right now? All the deity, it comes in such a way, and it'll be your particular flavor to tempt you to believe in it, giving your attention to what the mind has to offer. And that gets, as far as I've heard, and in my own direct experience, can get quite accentuated so that just letting it be there, that's part of the shift, and in not engaging them, right? So it's not following the loop of them, noticing that they're there, and you can even say, I see you there, or with them, however is appropriate, right? So it's really getting, okay, here's this thought, and has it repeated in the same similar way, or something similar about it. It might show up with a few different words. Then to open to that, okay, I'm going to just give you some space. Write it, be with it, and see, does it have any play? And in the body, is there some energy that's connected to that? And if there isn't, it usually is that if it's repeating, there'll be some way that thought is attached to this system. Perfect gift. Perfect gift. So it's not, it's if there's an attempt to get away or to get rid of the thoughts, that is at physics force again, and as soon as it's like, oh, that push away is equal to the thoughts will be how much more present, more forceful or energy they'll have. So either there'll be nothing, it'll be like a cloud going by, or the wind tousled your hair when you came in from the car, right? But the wind tossling your hair, if it was really irritating somehow, then there's a gift. Things inviting you, and you're that one that's inviting yourself. Even in this, it's interfering with what is, you're noticing it, but is it actually interfering with the play of events or not, And if then it's not, it's like, say, the cloud going by, like whatever it is, like you say, that you're involved in the activity and you're with that, and that's still happening, and still it's like the hum of a refrigerator. Sometimes the hum of the refrigerator does interfere. And so then it's like, okay, let's just, move to another place or whatever. So it's in the more what, is it in the way? If not, then, so anything in a generalized way, right, to look all at once, that's part of the mind wanting to categorize and conceptualize something, right? But in each moment of whatever's happening, it's so much easier to be with, right? So, but if you're looking at it from, sometimes, the mind spins and there's this hamster wheel, and, that becomes something quite a bit more to be with because it's spread over time, right? Just this moment. If it is, where is it connected? Giving yourself the space to feel the connection and carry on. And then getting adjusted to living without a direction, except for what shows up and the next thing happens. And, it's like the I don't know if we mentioned that last night, but this email that Richard had sent in 2009 that I didn't see until October 2010, but it showed up when it did, and it's this other play of events that now here we are, right? And so the direction comes to you. It's like almost underneath your foot. And so then the foot lands. Sometimes the foot is falling and it doesn't even appear like there's a land on. And then it's trust. And so far, that pull of the heart has not towards itself, and there is a dedication here for that, whatever that means. I mean, I like, okay, how pompous, you're going to support love, as if it needs your support. It's just what it's dedicated to, and that is the most true thing. And how can I be that to the best of my ability, no matter what's happening? Working toward it, I don't know, allowing it. Okay, how is love? How can I allow more love here? Or, most often it's just in play, and I'm witnessing it as it's happening, and in this simultaneous moment that it appears that I'm being loving. I mean, my goodness, I'm being loved. And it's no longer a giving of love, completely receiving the love that's here, and a side effect is it looks kind of loving, and it is, because it's allowed, but it's allowed because I'm allowing myself to feel being loved, love happening. And then trusting in love when there's nothing there. And sure enough, something will happen, right? Nothing, out of nothing, something occurs. Again and again and again. And it's like that's what it seems to be. It's coming to nothing, and then something emerges and rises, and okay, this play of events follow their way through till they're, okay, well, I kind of like that play. Oh, well. And what does the heart call for? And if the universe isn't ready for what the heart calls for, then there is a patience that's being called for. It's just the truth. And in any time in these moments in this journey, feel free to include this energy, whatever that means, of Canella, if there's a support in that, to let it be with you, in support of being true to love in this expression. If that ever occurs, you're welcome to the energy. And that's the same for everybody. That if it just occurs, and that's how Papaji and in body or out of body, they appear, and they let me lean on them in a way, or I get held. There's lots of energy. When I look, there's a heartfelt energy, and it seems to squeeze tears out of my eyes. That in listening to what you said, that was beautiful. I wonder, about, and a gratitude too about you being willing to share that. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Because things have been changing for you. Being in touch with the whole structure of what appears to be the body and the energy field, and to see if you can feel awareness being with you, being aware of you. See, the tricky part of being human too is in the comparing. Because earlier you had said something about whether or not you were more slow, or you were more fast, or if there was more smart or more dumb. Those only can be out of comparison, because there only is what there is, right? Those are just comparing happening. It's not true that you cannot compare this, right? There isn't any other you, so there really isn't any way to compare it in any kind of commonality, because there's only this one you. What would you be comparing to? So it's just noticing ideas come, and then relaxing open to what is here, this wonderful woman. And as she is more and more acknowledged and given more and more space, just as she is, all of these from source too, the ideas, right? As everything does. So they show up, but they show up differently, and then so they do appear, but they show up differently in this letting go of being in control. The more we attempt to create that to happen, the less likely, right? But the space, they would not even occur to you if it wasn't possible. So the beauty is really going for trust of yourself. This amazing woman that's already here, that is comparable to nothing of the oneness, right? It's in expression like this. We've been given this system, the energetic system, this physical system, this brain tissue, this way of character, the color of your eyes. It's all been just given. Here it is. And there isn't another like this. Never will be. Never has been. In all time. Just this moment, this experience of being human. That's what I see. This is all. Wow. And there isn't a comparing, but there can be a trust. And so when this idea of who you will be, is it here in this moment? Are you ready to, is it okay to sit with and really allow wrongness to be here? No longer moving away from being wrong. So has anything risen from, in connection with the lady that called in? Anything that you'd like to? It is if it is. And again, the heart calls, and in my own experience, it's not really, you'll be called to go to yourself in this form or that form, and it's really you being drawn to yourself in these different flavors. So as it's a support, it is, and you won't be called any longer when and not to have that as a rule either. Because, after this had happened, I kind of wondered, I remember John DeRuiter coming to Vancouver, and the felt sense was to go and join the group, and I didn't really know. I thought, well, this is interesting. What's this here? And then, there's quite a bit of learning and receiving a flavor of someone else's way. So there was that, and then there was also someone in the audience there that approached me afterwards and said, "Who are you?" And I was really drawn to you, and I'd like to. She invited me to offer satsang. So I didn't know that that's part of what was wanting to happen there. So it didn't make any real sense, but I was just, oh well, off I go. And that's happened quite a few times, that I'll end up in some place and wonder, well, why did I feel drawn to this? It's because it's not really touching, or, and then something else will happen that I might be on the ferry to or from going to a workshop, or someone I meet for lunch. All you can do is find supportive places, right? Like sometimes people come for Reiki sessions, they don't know why they've come, they just said they felt, and then, or individual satsang sessions, so, could I do that by phone or in person, and they come and it's like, I don't know why I'm here, I have no idea, I just knew to create a session, and then something usually those ones are bigger happenings in a lot of ways, but also at the same time, people may come for some other reason, something's going on, and it'll be something completely different than what they initially were looking at to find support with. So, it can be the person, it can be the people in the room, right? So when you're feel called or drawn to come to satsang, it can be the whole mix of the energy. It may not be specifically just, right? That it's just time to sit in the peacefulness, in this flavor. Energy just needs to be fired off, and then you can say, oh, that was just that. And it should become more okay with that, though, right? Because there's another possibility of what anger can be utilized, right? Just like we can use thoughts to access energies where they attach within the system. Anger is a very wonderful, strong, passionate paint. That's how I like to use it, like a paint. So in something that you are inviting in your life, what are you inviting in your life? I can give you a direct example that way. So that if anger shows up, you have a place to put it because it's valuable, right? And if she's not really interested in receiving it, it's wonderful to create another container where you can put it should it rise. So, but first you need something that you want to put it towards. What would you like more of in your life? Right? You take that actual energy, live it like you're saying, right? You let it run and let it have its full fruition, but put it into a direction that's supportive to you, whatever the calling is, right? Towards your own awakening. I love it, and just take that energy and just put it right.